Which is the best sim racing wheelbase? Is it the Logitech G Pro or is it the Logitech RS50? This is a crazy interesting video because for the first time in history, and I think it's going to be more like this in the future as well, believe me or not, and I'm going to show you the proof, the Logitech G Pro is the same price now as the Logitech RS50. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm going to show you the evidence. So the PlayStation version of the G Pro with the PC hub and a rim here is about $598, and that's pretty much the same price as the PlayStation Logitech RS50 with the hub and the rim. That's using my discount code Kireth, by the way. Whenever you buy anything from Logitech G, put my discount code Kireth and it gives crazy discounts. They send me some commission as well my way, which helps me out, so it's good for everyone. And that now means that we can compare these head to head, as I think we should do. The G Pro is about 2 years older than the RS50. It's a bit older technology, so maybe that should come down in price, and now we have the parity on pricing. So what are the differences? What are the pros? What are the cons? And there's some pros that you probably think you know right now that I'm going to tell you are not actually pros, and some cons you probably don't even know about. So by the end of this video, you're going to be an expert. So let's start with the G Pro, okay? So we know that this is an 11 Newton meter direct drive wheel. When this came out, this was Logitech G's way of doing what was basically like a halo product and saying, hey, you know us from the G29, G923s, but we can also do kind of like, you know, very good direct drive system. So it's not a 25 Newton meter, it's not competing with the SIMUCUBE 2 Pro and stuff like that. It's an 11 Newton meter, which has held it in really good stead because FANATEC GT DDs with boost packs tap out at 8 Newton meters. The T598 from THRUSTMASTER taps out at 5 Newton meters. So actually, this coming out at 11 has given it some real longevity, I think, compared to the competition. So that is obviously a pro. It's got 11 Newton meters, which means it has a bit of headroom. Now, even before I even knew Logitech were going to do the RS50, I was running my G Pro at about 7.5 or 8 Newton meters. I don't run this at 11 Newton meters. That's too strong for me. It's not the right feeling I want from the car. So I run this at 7.5 or 8 Newton meters, and that means I have a bit of headroom. You could also say that I don't really need the 11 Newton meters. I would be fine with an 8, which we'll get onto. Also on the True Force, for something to do with the way the motor works here, it's a very powerful base. The True Force at maximum settings is way too intense for me. I normally in Gran Turismo, for example, run the True Force down at like 15 or so, like 15 out of 100. I run it much low on this, otherwise it's shaking my rig. So yeah, it's 11 Newton meter wheelbase, but you might not use all that power. It's got, you know, banging True Force, but for me, I don't run it 100%. So there's a bit of headroom here, and you might think, oh, I don't need that headroom. I can save money and get another base. But now they're the same price, don't know how that works. Now, these are the things you probably don't know about, okay? So on the back of this base, and this is actually my G Pro base that I've used for over 2 years on the channel, winning top split Gran Turismo daily race and stuff like that. So you know that this works. It actually hasn't put a foot wrong, which is great. However, I'm shocked that it has a USB micro or something. You know, like the old micro cables is not a USB-C, like it's ancient. So that's something to bear in mind if you don't want to have USB micro cables. There might be a mini or micro, I can't remember, but it's got an old school cable in here. It also has a fan. This has active cooling. Logitech didn't want to risk it with the G Pro with passive cooling, so it has a fan in here, which should mean that it keeps nice and cool. And like I said, I haven't had any mechanical issues with this wheelbase. However, it might be something you consider for the future when if you're buying it secondhand, etc. It might have dust in it. It's a moving part. But just to let you know, this comes with a fan. In terms of the mounting for the wheelbase, it doesn't come with T-slot. Pros and cons here. And remember, I am going to get onto the RS50 obviously in this video. So it has a triangular mounting system that's a bit unusual. Often I actually just mount it with two here. If you have those holes pre-drilled into your wheel plate, fantastic. You just bolt them straight in, no fuss. But if you prefer T-slot for going into extrusion, then that's worth knowing about. You also have on the front a start-stop button, which is very nice because it's nice and big and red, but you can't really access it if there's a wheel here and the wheel's moving and you want to stop the base. So that's an interesting one. In terms of the QR, we have the new Logitech QR here. So all of Logitech's wheels that look like this are going to work on this base. So this is the Logitech G Pro. Like I said, 11 Newton meters, but you might not be running it that powerful anyway. It's a big unit. It's much bigger. It's much heavier. So I would guess it's about almost double the weight of the RS50, but it's bigger, and that does affect how low you can have your monitor. I have a monitor, for example, where there's a little joystick underneath it to go through the menus and change, the input. I need to leave a bit of a gap here so I can hit that joystick, and that does mean that my monitor is a little bit higher than I would ordinarily prefer. So it's worth bearing in mind that this is a big chunky boy DD unit. Doesn't get noisy for me, doesn't get hot, and I think for the price, if you want 11 Newton meters, very, very, very competitive. Okay, what about the RS50? Now, the general thing about the RS50 previously has been that it's cheaper than the G Pro, but now the G Pro's like come down in price massively. It's throwing all this out the water. But this is Logitech's new direct drive system. It's like an affordable direct drive. If you buy the unit on its own, it's like, for example, in the UK, it's £249 for the base on PC only, which is like incredibly cheap. Like, it's even cheaper than like MOZA and like some of the Chinese manufacturer competition. It's insane what Logitech have been able to do here. On the back, it's all USB. Well, it's actually USB-A peripherals, but then it's USB-C to your PC. It's all back to front, and then you've got the power button, the power input as well, and your power start-stop is now on the back. So we've moved from the front to the back. It has a little OLED screen. That's not too much different to the one on the G Pro. By the way, the G Pro does have another button here. So in my videos, I press a button. People say, where's that button? That button's here. On the RS50 also has a little button here. It's much, much, much smaller. Much smaller. I think this has passive cooling. I don't think this has a fan in it, which means there's not any more moving parts. And the way it's designed should vent out the heat. And I haven't heard any people really complaining about it getting too hot. In terms of the mounting, this is interesting. So it's got T-slot. So this is normally a bit fiddly to mount T-slot because the T-slot all moves around. So what Logitech did is they created these little rails that go in that are pretty cool. So they go in the rail and they shouldn't move around. What you can see has happened here, if you're eagle-eyed, is that in the course of moving the space here to shoot this video, I've lost one of the T-slots. So I've actually lost a T-slot. You can't lose a screw hole on the RS50, but you can lose a T-slot here. So I need to find it or bodge it. It would be fine with 3 on anyway. But just to let you know how that mounts on. And then we have the same direct drive quick release on here as the G Pro. They're both exactly the same. So this is an 8 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase, which means that I've been using this at max. I basically keep this at 8 Newton meters. I get the max power from it. And that's the same or similar to what I've been getting out of the G Pro. And it's felt very similar. What that does mean is that if in my game, Gran Turismo or PC Sims, if I go over a curb or have an impact or something, and the game wants to deliver me more than 8 Newton meters of force, this RS50 can't handle that, and there will be clipping. So that you're going to have more clipping in the RS50 than the G Pro. Whether that matters or not is up to you. If it's the same price, we're going to get onto this at the end of the video in terms of what I would buy, but it's just worth bearing in mind. If you're someone who, wants to have really heavy steering, which is not what I recommend, but it's personal preference. If you want to have that, you'd end up with more clipping here. If you're someone that has it turned down anyway, maybe you're coming from a G923 and you know that you like it really light, because a G923 is about 2 Newton meters or something, then this is going to be absolutely fine. So, which one would I get? Given that they are now the same price with my discount code, I would buy, with my own money, I would buy the G Pro. At the same price, I would buy the G Pro. I wouldn't sacrifice the 3 Newton meters. I can deal with the bulk when it's on there. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm using the same rim and hub system. The micro USB cable, once it's in, it doesn't matter. So all of the negatives are kind of nitpicky things, but you do just have that headroom on power. And maybe there's something about running it at like 75% for longevity as opposed to running it at 100%. I don't really know, but maybe there's something there. That's what I'd recommend. If you are going to partner these with pedals, irrespective of which one of these you go for, if you have the budget, I recommend pairing them with the G Pro pedals. For me, the G Pro pedals are better than the RS50 pedals. In terms of the wheelbases, as you've seen in this video, you can make an argument for both. Now, whether you're going to buy one of these or not, I want you to let me know in the comments, which one do you think is the best wheelbase from Logitech? Because there's going to be things that I don't think are not important to me that are important to you, and I want to know about them. So hopefully this video has helped you. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.